You can just let these words drift into your unconscious mind, while your conscious mind relaxes, and let go of the need to understand everything right now, because what you're about to absorb is more than a lesson, it's a transformation. You might not notice it right away, but there's a pattern unfolding here. Not a rigid rule, not a step-by-step, but a living rhythm of how a person can begin to install unconsciously a new way of being. And perhaps you've already begun that installation. You see, some people wait for the storm to pass. Others learn to dance in the rain. And those who dance, those who accept, begin to realize that impermanence isn't a threat, it's freedom. Because when things change, they always do, you grow. And every time something fades, something else awakens. And maybe you're already beginning to sense it. That your old definitions, rigid expectations, narrow beliefs, they're already relaxing, like muscles releasing tension. So let me tell you a story. There was once a sculptor. He looked at a rough stone block, and someone asked, "How will you carve something beautiful from that?" He smiled and said, "The beauty is already inside. I simply remove what isn't." And acceptance is just like that, not adding more, but uncovering what's already there. So imagine this, you're facing a challenge. Old programming would say, fix it, control it, resist it. But your new system doesn't panic. It notices, it breathes, it whispers. This is just feedback. This is just a lesson. This is just an unfolding. Failure? No, just feedback. Pain? Just a messenger. A setback? No, just a step back before a leap forward. Now notice how every belief, every trait, every strategy that we're installing here, it connects like nerves into a new neural network. Self-compassion makes you resilient. Resilience allows you to stay open. Open-mindedness leads to flexibility. Flexibility unlocks growth. Growth is born to acceptance, and acceptance is now automatic. And maybe you're already finding it easier to feel, comfortable with discomfort, present without needing to control, aware without judging that awareness. Because your new belief system is alive. It breathes through you. It's not a rule book, it's an energy. You start seeing feedback in your everyday world. A driver cuts you off. You feel a twinge, then breathe. There's an opportunity to choose grace. Someone criticizes you, and instead of collapsing, you expand. You realize, that's their frame, not mine. You look at the mirror, and rather than fixing what's wrong, you say, I am enough. I'm still evolving. I'm always enough. And remember, this isn't something you have to do. It's already happening, because when you hear these words, they echo as possibilities, and possibilities become patterns, and patterns repeated become truth. So let's nest something deeper. You may have noticed, the moment you truly observe a feeling, it begins to transform. So what happens when you observe with love? What happens when every emotion, every thought, no matter how messy, is met with a soft smile that says, you're allowed to be here. You stop fighting. When you stop fighting the waves, you learn to surf them. Now here is where it gets interesting. Let's suppose for a moment you didn't try to install these beliefs. Let's say you pretended it was already done. Like booting up a new operating system. You don't question how the software runs. You just trust it. And slowly, day by day, new behaviours begin to emerge. You speak slower, with depth. You listen better, with presence. You forgive faster, with softness. You act bolder, with grace. Not because you should, but because that is who you are now. You are the sculptor and the sculpture, the author and the story, the subject and the hypnotist. And the more you play with these ideas, the more they play with you. Let's test this. Think of a time recently when things didn't go your way. Now shift your frame. What if that was your way? What if it had to happen for you to become who you're becoming? Because when you start from the premise that everything is feedback, everything is fuel, you cannot lose. You can only evolve. So now let the following embed more deeply. You're always enough. You're always growing. Life happens for you. Emotions are meant to be felt, not fixed, and acceptance is your superpower. And in accepting what is, you unlock what can be. And now this new way of seeing is becoming normal. You might begin to notice how the world reflects it back. Your energy becomes magnetic, your presence electric, your life a dance between surrender and action. And you'll know deep in your bones that the system is running right now, and it only gets better.